Good evening, YouTube. It's your man, Harold HGM Law Comics, coming to you on the unboxing and I guess the weekly haul. So just do a couple shout outs. I want to get right into it. I got this from a little lady, Amy. She knows who she is. Met her online. She has a comic shop down in Huntsville, Alabama. And while going through her IG, I saw this in the background and was able to negotiate the purchase of it. Beautiful piece, classic cover, Neil Adams. You know, and funny thing is, it came out in 1973. I was 9, so never had the chance to collect it. Never had a chance. Didn't even know it existed until I got back into it. Now it has a chance to be in my collection. So, you know, shout out to her. Tremendously appreciated her for giving me the opportunity to get this. You know, she didn't have to. She has a shop, and she does toys. And I know her IG is Creamer and Cachet Comics, so you get a chance to look her up and everything. So, like, you know, everybody else, this week you had Thor. New Thor came out. A and B. Let's see, Venom. So, was able to. Oh, where to go? Oh, it's somewhere here. Here we go. So, at my LCS, they were able to hold this for me. This is a 1 in 25 variant for Thor 6. So, they will pick this up. I also got a couple more that I ordered from my comic shop. So I don't plan on selling this like I did number 5. So hopefully I'll keep this in the mix. Got a new Kanan number 1. This is a variant with Darth Vader, the Emperor, and the Stormtrooper. Great book. I got this from Who Dat, who I should be on a bit later tonight, and really glad to get this one. Go with the other one that I got as well. So, this will be going up to CGC for grading and all. As always, the Batman came in. Batman 97. So we had those. We got from the LCS. Got a couple of those. Also from Who Dat, got a couple nice issues of Spider-Man variant, and able to get this Hella Risen 3 variant. Also, this lovely book signed by Scott Snyder and Capullo. So, also Peter Parker Spider-Man and Booster Gold 1. This will replace the one I had, which had a bad color streak across the top, so that's why I didn't send that in to get graded. But this one I will send in, and everything. So, the main reason to do this unboxing was I sent some off to CGC, and you know, I did most of them I got cleaned and pressed by my guy Al, Basement Comics, up in Harford County, Maryland. And so, waiting 2 months to get these back, you know. So, I will try not to be too chatty about it, but give some you know, little background on things, and you know, be happy about the grades. And like I said, you know, I don't want to chase grades, you know, and that's important for me to just be happy with what I got, and not, you know, because it's a hobby. It's not about trying to get the 9.8 and everything. That's, you know, buying the best copy you can raw, getting it cleaned and pressed, and then submitting it, and then you get back what you get back, and that's important. So to start, here we go. X-Men 266 Gambit. I bought this from the Unknown Comics guy. One of the first auctions I saw of his. He put this in a lot with a bunch of other books. I saw it, noted there was a newsstand, and bought the lot. It was this one, X-Men Annual 14, and about 15 other X-Men books. And the one I had in my garage, I submitted without getting cleaned and pressed, and it was a direct edition, and came back a 7.0. So I was greatly disappointed in that. So got this one, took it up to get cleaned and pressed, submitted it, and it's a 9.6. So it is not the elusive 9.8, but it's a very, very good copy. So Mr. Unknown Comics, I'm gonna send you a photo of this. Thank you for letting it go. I know, he told me, kind of was melancholy about letting it go after I got it, but it's going to have a good home, and I'm glad to have it. So, shout out to you for that. Now, this one, X-Men 121. This is the first appearance of Alpha Flight. Wish it could be better, but unfortunately, the best copy I could get. So got an 8.0. I can't complain, because again, it is first full appearance of Alpha Flight. Again, because I picked it up. Don't see these come up that often. Sent it, got it cleaned and pressed, and this is what came back. So, if I get a chance to get a better copy, I'll try, but I can't complain with this. So glad this is it's if I look at it, I'm not going to see much wrong with it, but it's not like you pull them out and you go through page by page and see what's done with it. So I'm glad for it. It's nice to have a home, and I do not plan on getting rid of this because it's I didn't have this. I never had this. I acquired it. Again, this came out 79, so I would have been 16, but I wasn't collecting at that point in time. I was in high school. In high school at the time, so would not have been one that was in the garage, as I say. So, Star Wars Clone Wars. This one I got on auction, Chad RCG's auction, and the only time I ever saw it come up, I've only seen it one time. First appearance of Ahsoka Tano, and she's going to be played by Rosario Dawson in the upcoming Mandalorian series. So with her, they also believe that Sabine Wren, who has a cameo in Star Wars Kanan 1, is going to also be coming with there as well. So that's why Kanan 6 is important, and that'll be coming back, I guess, 2 unboxings from now. So I was able to buy this, send it to clean and press because I want to get the best grade I could, and I got a 9.4. Not happy with it, but I'll take it. Still a high book. It's a $500 book right now, and true, the 9.8 is way more expensive, but it's the best I got. So I'm glad to have it back. It's a really good, nice book. Looks good. You do the best you can. Got a couple spine ticks and a little smudge at the top, so that's probably what will cause the issue. But you know what? It's still a great book. Glad to have it in the collection, and here it will stay. Most of these I'm not going to do anything with. I'll just keep them. Now, this one, Joker, I got from Biggie of the New York Warriors. This along with the first appearance of Catwoman in the in the Silver Age. So this one came with it, and again, it was sent it to get cleaned and pressed, and then sent it in. So, got a 6.0. It's funny because you look on the front, you don't see much there. You don't see much that went wrong with it. And it's like off white to white page. No, this is white pages, but somehow got 6.0. So I don't know. That's like I said, this is white pages, and you look at it and you go, I don't see creases or tears or anything like that. But again, I got it cleaned and pressed, and so that's what came back. Now, this one is one of my childhood favorites, The Invaders. This is one of the first books I got. I get my $2 and ride to the 7-Eleven and find it on the shelf and picked it up, and because this is what made me fall in love with Namor, Submariner, Captain America, and Human Torch. I love The Invaders, and I always remember this book, and so got a chance to get one, and I believe it was Roman Curtis that had this available, and I was able to pick this up, and again sent it up to clean and press. It came back in 9.4. So this is great tribute to my childhood, and glad to have it, and glad to keep have it part of my collection again. And it's a good thing. It says it continued from the Giant Size Avengers, Giant Size Invaders. I'm sorry, but classic cover, great World War II stuff. You don't see that in stuff nowadays, but 9.4. So good grade, really good grade, good quality book. So glad to have it and everything. So last but not least, is a book that was in my collection in my garage, and I know the grade. I knew the grade because I saw it, and I was contemplating how was I disappointed? Was I happy? Was I? And I just remembered. I said, the one thing is, there's so many guys like me in my age who were collecting comic books back then, and I remember growing my collection from one long box, which I took with me to college, to Notre Dame in Indiana from Washington, D.C., and carried it with me every time I went back and forth. So went up with me in the fall, came back in the summer, along with my clothes and other stuff. And as the years grew by, it became 2 boxes and 3 boxes, and then got to law school, and then took it with me there, and that just grew. And then the collection stayed with me throughout my moves, and it I'm not alone. There are a lot of guys like me who do that with their collections. I mean, some have able to stay in the same place for forever, but a lot just move with you. And so it was important that I kept my collection with me, because I guess it's just one of those things. And so when it came time, when I was going through my divorce and I sold some of it off, I like I said, I sold to my comic shop. They went and picked the best comics they wanted at the time. So it was about 10 years ago, 10 to 12 years ago. And I needed money, so I said, well, I've got comics. And so I remember cataloging it and, showing the collection to a couple places and getting offered dirt nothing for it. And I think at the time it was worth, on paper, the collection was worth about $35,000 on paper, and being offered like $500, from one place another, and just going, obviously it's not, not worth all the money that it says it should be. And so on my comic shop, they said, okay, we'll take the key books from your collection, and give you $1,200 and change, or we'll take the whole collection and give you $1,100 in change. And again, I was always trying to figure out, if they just offered me $1,300, the entire collection would have gone, the whole thing, all 18 long boxes at the time would have just gone. And with me thinking about getting back into it at some point in time, but every book I had would have gone down there to them. But because they didn't offer me that, because they offered me $100 less, I just got rid of 2 ASM 300s, and a bunch of other key books at the time. And so to go back into this hobby now with the COVID-19 and the pandemic, to go back and go through these things again and see some of the books and see how they, how times have changed and things have become more expensive. It was important for me to now, because the thought was to go through, find what was valuable now, get it graded, and then, okay, fine. And the biggest ones I had so far was the ASM 361. Yes. That I, paid $1.25 for, put in a bag, didn't even board it, because at the time, no one cared about Carnage. You just didn't care. You cared about Venom, and Spider-Man. So the black suit, Venom, but no one cared about Carnage. Carnage was just now, at the time. So you didn't even get a backing board. And to then turn around and submit it and get a 9.8 out of it said something. And so it was funny because I was in an auction a couple weeks ago, and I offered the book up as a buy it now, and then Dexter Lett took it, and he said, I'll take the buy it now. And I knew I had a second copy, and also a 9.8, and also but I bought that from Marty at Lost in Time Vintage Toys. But I gave Let the Lost in Time one, and because I paid $430 for that one, Let did the buy it now at $400, and I said, well, I'll give him that one because I wanted to keep the one that I've always had, because that was what's important, is that knowing when you bought that book for $1.25 and you saved it, and it just was a party, and you took it with you. And there are a lot of guys out there, people out there like me, who you have that kind of attachment to stuff. It just because you just did that, you remember that it just has that sentimental value. And so that's why I said, well, Let will mind, because it's the same book, it's a 9.8, but it's not the one that came out of my garage. And so that's how it is with this one. Because again, I went through the long boxes, and I remember passing this by at first, just passing it by, didn't think anything of it when I was in the W box, and then went back a second time and found it, and I looked at it, I said, let me look this up and see what this is about. And because I always thought the first appearance of Moon Knight was the Marvel premiere light blue magazine. That's what I was always, and I had that, and I keep thinking somewhere still in the garage somewhere, but it didn't fit in the long box, so it may be in some other box along with the Spider-Man 1 Platinum. But I pulled this, looked it up, realized it's the first appearance of Moon Knight, and how expensive this thing is. And so immediately when I posted on IG, Manny and Chino was like, I want it. And I said, well, I'm going to do it right first. I'm going to see what it's worth. He said, what do you want for it? And I said, I'm going to get it graded, I'm going to get it pressed and clean, then send it off. It had a spine roll, and some other things. But when I got it back in, the mid 80s, you gotta understand, there was no grading. No, grading wasn't even thought of. You had two guys and an overstreet pricing guy who sat there and looked at the book and go, "What's this worth?" What, and agreed on a price for it. Usually, if it was a dealer, the dealer charged you the high price. If you were trying to sell it, the dealer would buy from the low price, and that's what it was. Didn't care about spine roll, ticks, rust, creases, bends, folds, none of that stuff. Tanning, none of that stuff you cared about, because that's the stuff you care about now, but not then. So when I found this, pulled it, sent it away, and now to have it at a 9.4, and to know that there are about like 200 copies in existence in the census of CGC that are this great or better. There are 19 9.8s. This is a special book, and I'm keeping this because, again, the attachment I have, because I bought it like for $2-3 back in the 80s, because I liked Moon Knight back then, but it was nothing really happened with him. But now I have to have this in my collection, and this is now one of the most this is the second most valuable book I have. My Incredible Hulk 181 8.5 is the only book that's more valuable than this one. So I'm really glad to have this, and I know a lot of people are upset about what's in my garage or what I find in my garage, but there are a lot of garages and attics and basements with collections way better than mine. It's just a matter of, will the people that own them go through them and then present them and share them? Because there's so many people who are out there trying to buy these collections from people because they're like, okay, he's got a great collection, we'll buy it and then process it and sell it and all that stuff. But there's stories that go along with these, memories that go along with these, of how you attained it, how you enjoyed it, how you read it, preserved it, how it traveled with you or didn't travel with you. And that's, to me, more important than the book. And so while I'm disappointed it didn't get a 9.8, because it's a beautiful, beautiful book, I'm glad I kept it. I'm glad it got what it got, and I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to try again to get it, because 9.8's a $30,000 book. Right now, this is a $4,000 book. If I got a 9.6, it's a $10,000 book. It's not about the money. I didn't get back in this hobby because of the money. I got in this hobby because I like the hobby, and that's the important thing. You collect what you like, and you'll never be disappointed. And this is a testament to that. And so, I gladly bring this book back home and now put it next to the other good books, and proud to be an owner of this. One of 200 in existence, this great or better. And it's a great book. I'm glad to have it. So you get a chance. I know who that's doing the claim sale. May have already started, and I'm going to hop on that, and hope to see you guys. And so get a chance. I know Saturday, I believe I'm doing an auction with Chino Comics and more, and then Sunday with Strictly Comics again, with Edwin and them. So, have a good evening, and we will see you on YouTube. Thank you.